90 days ago, I thought my sleep problem was just about habits. Basically, go to sleep earlier. Maybe take some different supplements and start tracking stuff. But what I discovered instead is that sleep isn't really about sleep at all. It's about stress, the nervous system, and whether you actually feel in control of your life. In this video, I'm going to show you what 90 days of real sleep data taught me, including what worked, what completely backfired, and why my worst nights are no longer catastrophic. Last week, my average sleep score was only a 70, but one day I hit a 90 and it completely changed my life. I'm using the Muse and tracking my sleep for 90 days to figure out how to hit 90 consistently. This is week 1. My average was 70. And that one day, that one 90 day, it was magical. I didn't test any variable this week. Honestly, that 90, it totally happened by accident. I'm just as surprised about it as you are. Look at the data. I went to bed after midnight, so did not go to sleep early, and I slept until 9 a.m. But the next morning, I felt like a new human being. I had clear thinking, fast thinking. I was happy without trying. Life just felt easy. All right, let's look at my sleep stages. I got 2 hours of REM sleep and an hour and a half of deep sleep. So Muse is great because it now has AI that you can talk to about what your data means. I'll show you more about the data as we go along. Here, look at my sleep position. I slept more on my right side than my left, and that actually surprised me. And check out my brain waves. Muse measures delta, theta, alpha, beta, and gamma. So week 1 taught me this. Life is better with great sleep. And it is absolutely worth figuring out how to get 90 more often. I am determined to get more 90 sleep. So come along with me as I figure this sleep stuff out. What do you do to get amazing sleep? Drop your best tip below. I'm testing out one new thing each week until my average sleep score is 80. And thanks to the Muse, I will be able to understand all this amazing data and use AI to figure out how I can get way better sleep. Follow to see what habit I test in week 2. Instead of improving, one night I got a sleep score of 42. It's week 2 and my sleep score dipped to 69. And honestly, it hit me harder than expected. This is my 90-day journey to an average sleep score of 80 using the Muse. This week I tried something new. I used the Muse digital sleep pill more consistently, and I stayed with the surf and space visualization to fall asleep earlier and finally get 8 hours of sleep. But instead of improving, one night I got a sleep score of 42. That was one of the lowest sleep scores ever. When I look at my Muse data, it made total sense though. I slept 6 hours, but I woke up over and over again. You can see it in those 4 sharp peaks. And the wild part, I only got 7 minutes of REM sleep. And look at my slow wave intensity. Yes, I got over an hour of deep sleep, but the intensity of that deep sleep wasn't as good as I usually get. So not only did I not get good deep sleep, my REM sleep was basically non-existent. That explains exactly why the next day was so emotionally brutal. And it was brutal. I was pessimistic. I was mean to myself. I was thinking these awful thoughts. I could tell how negative I was, but I couldn't stop it. It felt like my brain wasn't even mine. That day taught me something huge. After a bad night of sleep, I cannot trust any thoughts about the future that's coming out of my brain. I have to remember you're only thinking this way because you didn't sleep. And wow, that was really hard to do in the moment all day long. Now, I feel that overall, the digital sleep pill helps me fall asleep quicker. I really like it, so I'm keeping that in my routine. Now, L-theanine is supposed to be very good for just about everything related to sleep. You're supposed to relax more and fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer and have better quality sleep, all without feeling drowsy. So that is what I will be testing next week. And of course, all of the data will be tracked on my Muse. Stay tuned. You can see I was awake from 1:30 a.m. on, and I could not shut my brain off. Week 3 in my 90 days to an 80 sleep score. And this week, my sleep score dipped again. I averaged 68. That's 1 point lower than last week. And yes, that is not the direction I want things to go. This week, I took 200 milligrams of L-theanine every night about 30 minutes before bed, along with the digital sleep pill, and I used to surf in space. I really love that one. And honestly, I really felt the difference. L-theanine helped me fall asleep faster without those weird vertigo feelings I get from melatonin. My brain is, let's just say it's sensitive, so I'm usually cautious with supplements. But that one magical night of a 90 sleep score, oh my gosh, I want that. I want that every night. So I'm determined to figure out how to get that consistently. So that 90 sleep score is definitely pushing me out of my comfort zone to find out what truly works for my sleep. And for most of the week, I was holding a solid average. Look at that. Until Sunday. Sunday again. This is the second Sunday in a row that I've gotten terrible sleep. And again, sleep score 42. Oh, you can see I was awake from 1:30 a.m. I could not shut my brain off. It just would not stop. It was instantly racing as soon as I woke up. And the more I stayed awake, the madder I got at myself. It was just like, oh, so annoying because all I want to do is sleep and I just can't shut my brain off. So when I look at my Muse data, everything clicked. On November 6th, that night, I scored a 75. I slept from 11 p.m. to 6:30 a.m. Totally manageable. But look how choppy my sleep was after 1:30. So I had 4 wake-ups. Back to sleep quickly, yes, but still it was fragmented. And Enso, that's Muse's new AI, explained that my arousal index was low. But what really stood out was this. Consistent sleep is everything. I've got to stop these middle of the night wake-ups. They're absolutely wrecking my sleep. And then I'm not as productive the next day. Okay, so here's my big takeaway for week 3. I have to stop waking up at 1:30 a.m. in the morning. It is destroying my sleep as well as my days. And now I need your help. Do you have a trick for the 1:30 a.m. wake-ups? I woke up overheating at 2:17 a.m. and my Muse data showed why. This is week 4 of my 90-day push to an average sleep score of 80 or above. My weekly average was 65. Yes, I'm going backwards again. Oh, I'm doing all the things you're supposed to do, and yet it still is that I'm moving backwards in my score. So I kept taking 200 milligrams of L-theanine, and I was really trying to aim for 10:30 p.m., lights out, go to sleep. So I'm falling asleep faster now, but I keep waking up. And every time I wake up, my brain is just like flipped on like a light switch. It's going a mile a minute. One night I got so frustrated and so mad that I couldn't fall back to sleep. I just got up out of bed and went and read in the living room for 20 minutes. And then I did some GABA spray at 4:30 in the morning. And that night, believe it or not, I got a 71 sleep score. That was definitely worth it. I was a teeny bit groggy in the morning, but I'll take a 71 over feeling like a sleep zombie any day. But then I got a 56 sleep score. Oh, and that is when the Muse data finally gave me the clue that I needed. On both of those bad nights, the first time I woke up because I was hot. Winter heat is kicking in, and I normally love a really warm room and like mountains and mountains of blankets. But the Muse data told a different story. From 2 to 4 a.m., my Muse data showed that I was moving constantly. I was still asleep, technically, but I was restless. I was tossing and turning and having those micro wake-ups. And then Enso, which is Muse's AI, pointed out that your body became more active right before you woke up. That line clicked for me. I heard it for years that sleep is better in a cold room, but now I'm seeing it in my data. I still don't want to sleep in a cold room. That's not really what I want. But if that's what my body needs, then yes, I'm going to do it. So here's my big takeaway for week 4. It might not be stress. It might not be supplements. Maybe temperature might be the real root cause of my wake-ups. So I'm curious, how do you stay cool at night? Do you crack a window? Do you use a fan, special sheets? Definitely let me know about the special sheets. Cold shower before bed? Anything that can help me stay cool at night? I'm willing to try. Let's see if a colder room really makes a difference for next week. This is my brain while I sleep. Calm for about an hour and then really hectic. Can you guess what flipped the switch on my brain? This is week 5 of my 90-day challenge to an average sleep score of 80 or above. My weekly average improved this week. Yay! I'm so excited. Oh my goodness. I kept going backwards. Now we're 2 points better than last week. And the colder room is helping. I kept the room cold all night. I even set the thermostat to drop a degree while I was sleeping. I also stopped the L-theanine. It really helped me fall asleep fast, and I created a good habit around that. But at 2 a.m., my thoughts just were so turbocharged that that's not really me. So I felt like I need to stop it and see how that goes. So Sunday was still rough, but not a disaster. So instead of another 42, thankfully I didn't get 42. I got 58, so better. And the 58, I really prepped for that. So I knew, okay, Sunday night, this might be really hard. So let me do some breath work. So I did that for several minutes. And I kept telling myself, sleep deeply and quickly. Sleep deeply and quickly. And here's the part that I really love. REM sleep I got was about an hour. Deep sleep, I got about an hour as well. And the Muse AI rated my deep sleep intensity at 98. When I look at the brainwave power bands in that early block, look at them. They're gorgeous. They're calm and deep and powerful. And this is what I want to have like all night through. So pausing L-theanine seems like the right thing to do because my mind isn't racing as much. When I wake up, it's still, my mind is going, but just not as much as before with the L-theanine. And the cold bedroom clearly moved the numbers in the right direction. So basic information, cold bedroom, yeah, it actually does make a difference. The brainwave power bands graph is becoming more and more something that I'm looking at to figure out what to optimize next. My week 6 goal is simple, more of those calm power bands, and to get them, I am now going to try glycine. So glycine is a nice calming neurotransmitter for the brain. It helps quiet the nervous system, and it supports falling into deeper stages of sleep more efficiently, right? I definitely need that. And here's the cool thing. It might even slightly lower core body temperature. So that's why I'm definitely going with glycine. Let's try that for next week. This week, I've certainly seen the impact of a colder bedroom on my sleep. So it will be interesting to see if glycine can really help move into that restful, well-regulated sleep cycle for a continuous period of time. Do you do breath work before bed? Does it help? Let me know in the comments and follow me along for next week's results. Thanksgiving week, I traveled. I ate gluten and dairy and sugar, and I even had 2 glasses of wine with Thanksgiving dinner. Basically, this week I have done everything you're not supposed to do for good sleep, and somehow this was my best sleep week yet. It's crazy. I don't get it. Week 6 of my 90-day sleep experiment, and my average sleep score for this week was 83. Oh, it was fantastic. Oh my goodness. This is just like, this is what I was shooting for. The one thing that I tested this week was 3 grams of glycine about an hour before bed. So when I look at my Muse data, I was honestly shocked. Thanksgiving night. Look at it. Thanksgiving night. Okay, I slept 9 hours. 9 hours. Muse even showed I wasn't perfectly still. I tossed and turned a bit, but the sleep quality was still there. And I ate all the stuff you're not supposed to eat. So now I'm questioning everything. Was it the glycine that really calmed my nervous system? Or was it the fact that I didn't have work and school and all that stress weighing on me? So here's my conclusion for week 6. I'm keeping glycine in the next week. And if I average over 80 again, that's it. I'm done. I solved it. I just needed glycine. So tell me, do you think stress is killing my sleep? Or did glycine really calm my nervous system enough, and that's all I needed? My sleep score crashed from 83 all the way down to 33. Find out why. This is week 7 of my 90-day push to an average sleep score of 80. Right after Thanksgiving, my weekly sleep score, the average, was 83. And I thought I had figured this all out. So this week I didn't change anything. But my weekly average fell back to 68. Ugh, And the only variable that changed was stress. December 2nd was the worst. Look at my REM sleep, 10 minutes. Deep sleep, an hour and 1 minute. Total sleep, not good at all. And the next day was so emotionally rough. It's brutal. But here's the upside to knowing my patterns. The very next night, I offloaded stress first. I did a Pilates session to physically tire out. I did a quiet wind down breathing session that Muse has, 4 in, 6 out. That was really beneficial. And look at the bounce back. 80. All right, I got 80. Stillness, 93%. Slow wave intensity, 80. My deep and REM sleep both returned. This week taught me something huge. Stress is my biggest factor right now in sleep. Muse doesn't give me generic advice. It shows exactly how my brain and body sleep so that I can adjust faster and bounce back quicker. And now I want to know from you, what do you do to de-stress that really make an impact on your sleep? Week 8, and my sleep score dropped to the worst ever, 61. And this week made something very clear to me. I learned that my sleep is hugely impacted by stress, work stress, school stress, and time pressure. So when I work past 8:30 p.m., even if I fall asleep quickly, my nervous system just doesn't settle enough to give me a solid night of sleep. December 9th was rough. And when I looked back, it lined up perfectly with working late. Then on December 11th, I stopped working earlier. And even though my sleep score wasn't amazing that night, I slept consistently through the night. I woke up around 5 a.m. just naturally feeling good. And that mattered more to me than the actual number. When I looked at my Muse data, it backed this up. On nights where I protected my evenings, my sleep was more solid and less fragmented. And on December 15th, my data showed something else. What happened was I woke up and immediately I could tell, wait, I'm awake because I'm hot. And then I looked at the heat, and for some reason, the temperature was programmed to be higher than what I found is ideal. So now I'm very aware of all the conditions that my sleep requires. So here's the takeaway for week 8. Stress is the main reason I'm having trouble sleeping, but I'm also working with my doctor in doing blood work to make sure I'm not missing anything health-wise. I want answers, not guesses. We like using data around here. So now I'm curious, what blood work do you do to check on your sleep? My sleep score jumped this week, and the data tells a clear story. This is week 9 of my 90-day push to an average sleep score of 80 or above. My weekly average was 75 this week, much higher than last week and very close to my goal. Now, the biggest difference, vacation. No work, no schedule, no school pressure. Just less pressure overall. Now, I still woke up sometimes, but without a set wake up time, I didn't have to stress about falling back to sleep. If I woke up, no problem. I just slept in. It also looks like my body prefers a midnight to 9 a.m. rhythm. Check out December 21st. Great sleep. My stillness, my sleep positions were very smooth. Now, I'm not saying that stress is everything. Let's get lab results. Let's get data. I like my data. I did extensive blood work and should get those results back hopefully next week. But Muse keeps showing the same pattern for me. When my stress goes down, my sleep improves. I'm especially curious about my cortisol levels. I'm sure you know, as an autism parent, your nervous system never fully rests. So I really want to get to know my cortisol levels. Takeaways for week 9, flexible mornings, lower pressure, help me sleep better. It's not earth-shattering, but it is always great for verification. So do you sleep better when mornings are flexible? Probably, right? Follow me along and see what my lab results reveal next week. How did I average a solid 72 weekly score after a 1 a.m. bedtime and almost 2 hours of being awake? This is week 10 of my 90-day push to an average sleep score of 80 for the week. My weekly average this week, 72. Not too bad, even with one night at a 61. Remember, I used to have some really bad low numbers. I went to bed around 1 a.m. and then stayed awake for nearly 2 hours. That could have been a disaster. The difference? Vacation. I didn't have to wake up at 6:30 a.m. for work and school, and I could sleep until like 9:30. That flexibility completely changed the outcome. I also got a big batch of blood work back. So thyroid labs, fasting glucose, A1C, inflammation markers, CBC, CMP, lipids, homocysteine, vitamin D, ferritin, vitamin B12, MMA, omega-3s. There was a lot. We did a lot of blood work. And almost everything came back in the optimal range. One thing that was slightly off was the reverse T3. Now, that was a little high, and often that's the body's way of conserving energy, so under stress or for recovery. So for me, there's a small confirmation that stress is driving these sleep issues. I'm still waiting on cortisol results and hormone results. Everyone loves hormones. So week 10, takeaway. Sleep isn't just about nighttime. It's about whether your life gives your body room to recover and have less pressure, better sleep scores. However, I have taught myself a lot of sleep tricks, like sleeping in a very cold room, and I'm actually making that temperature even colder and finding even better results. I've also learned how to fall asleep quickly. I've used the Muse and the digital sleep pill to help reinforce that habit of when it's time for bed, let's go to sleep quickly. So different things like the digital sleep pill, there's a lot of skills about falling asleep. It seems like so simple. I'll just go to sleep, but it gets quite complicated the older you get. I'm very happy to have shared all of this with you, and I've got 2 more weeks. Let's see if I can make it. Oh my goodness. Real life hit my sleep hard this week. Oh, this week, my average dropped to 64. About 10 points down from last week. This is week 11 of my 90-day push to an average sleep score of 80. What changed? Schedules. We were back at school and work, and I actually love my work. It's the pressure that gets me into that time crunch, the early alarm, no matter what. Getting my daughter to school, planning everything, trying to fall asleep earlier than my body actually naturally wants to. My body really prefers this later rhythm, going to sleep around midnight, but school mornings, they don't care. Muse keeps showing me the same pattern when life speeds up. My nervous system feels it, and my sleep score reflects it. My body keeps the score, and so does Muse. Week 11 takeaway, it isn't bad sleep hygiene. It's schedule pressure and fighting my chronotype. When the clock demands one thing and my body wants another, sleep suffers. Comment below and tell me what helps you handle that evening morning pressure, especially when your chronotype is for night sleeping and you have to get up early. And yes, we are heading into the final week. Let's see if we hit this average 80 and can maintain it. Week 12, the final week of my 90-day sleep experiment. And my average sleep score this week was 70. So I did have 1 week that was above 80, but I wasn't able to maintain it consistently. But here's what I learned in these 90 days. When I'm on vacation, my sleep is great. When school and work pressure hits, stress shows up and it destroys my sleep. I wake up like 1:30 in the morning and my brain is just, it immediately starts running through everything that could go wrong. So I've made a shift. I'm focusing on my nervous system. I've started doing Muse breath work as part of my bedtime routine. So 5 to 10 minutes of 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. It's important to have those 6 seconds out so that exhale is longer than the inhale. And that's to force my body into parasympathetic. I know, force my body into relaxation, but that is what I'm doing. Because for me, sleep isn't just sleep. It's nervous system regulation. And the Muse data showed me something I'm honestly proud of. My Sundays have improved so much. Remember when I was getting sleep scores of like 42 on Sundays? They were brutal, but now I can prep for them. So my lowest lows are actually higher, and I feel more in control. And that's the real win. The final conclusion after 90 days is this: quality information changes everything. I love the Muse because it gives me the data to make real changes, and I genuinely feel more in control of my sleep and my life. So I'm curious, do you feel in control of your sleep?